This is a book talk on how family can affect self-perception and some young adult titles that may help you to figure out how you want people to see you and have a little bit of insight as to how they really might see you. Family can affect self-image. This includes relationships with family and how we perceive the way they see us. Being a teen or young adult, we often spend time shaping our lives and beliefs in response and reaction to what others say and do around us. I'm here to talk about 3 books with main characters who spend much of their story sharing how they feel about their family and how their family makes them feel. All 3 main characters are girls, but I will address a boy and his self-image as well. All 3 of these young adult titles are available at the Charlotte Mecklenburg Library, through the Libby app, and on Amazon. They are also available through Barnes & Noble, as well as several small business bookshops in Gaston County. The first book is The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulley. This is a novel that takes place on a Native American reservation. Donis is the daughter born into wealth on her white mother's side, and her father was a respected community leader on the reservation in Michigan. Being the result of an accidental pregnancy, Donis questions how her family values her place on the res and within her mother's family's wealth. Her grandmother, Grandmary Fontaine, would comment that her future finances would never be an issue should she get herself into trouble. But Donis is smart enough to comprehend that she was the result of an accidental pregnancy and she is the trouble that her mother got into. Regardless of that realization, Donis consistently strives to make her family proud of her. She rejected figure skating, which was popular among the young girls, instead for competitive hockey, and she actually played really well until she injured her shoulder. Her native blood, or rather paternal grandmother, Grandma Pearl, is so incredibly proud of her and wants her to be a member of the reservation. Coming from mixed blood, Donis has to apply to become a member by her 18th birthday. This requires a huge fund as well as several sponsors from the reservation. Being of mixed blood, Donis was unsure and struggled as she thought about who might be willing to sponsor her to become a member until her grandma Pearl had her presented ceremoniously with 18 elders completely funded paperwork for her membership to the reservation. Janice was incredibly close to her brother, who is not her mother's child, but is her father's child. And as the story progressed, she really began to question how he saw her. Because as some guys made inappropriate remarks toward her or about her, he would react so overprotectively to the point of concern for the well-being of others. Donna's witnesses a horrific crime at the beginning of the book, and while determining her next steps, she actually feels that she needs to protect her mother and her grandparents from the awful tragedy that she witnessed and how bad it really was and how much it affected her. She learns the impact of drug abuse on her family, and she also learns that no matter how reliable the source, it is so important to get all of the facts straight before making any judgment on family members and what they do. That makes her in turn realize that they don't see her as the innocent or weak being that they thought she was. This is a wonderful book because of the strength and the passion of the main character. Donis wants to make her family proud, but also learns the importance of making her own decisions about her future and her allies. The book makes a great addition to young adult collections because it represents Native American culture in a positive but strong light while revealing the reality of some of the struggles on the reservation. The author includes important Anishinaabe vocabulary, and the main character is a female who reflects the reality of secure and insecure feelings about who she is and who her family members are. It does a great job of illustrating the truth of Native American life in a respectful light. It is a bonus if you can get the audiobook because some of the chapters use the Anishinaabe vocabulary, and it would really be nice to hear how those words are pronounced correctly. The second story is a book called Chronically Dolores by Maya Van Wagenen. Dolores is diagnosed with a chronic bladder condition called interstitial cystitis. Her bladder leaves her constantly uncomfortable and self-conscious. The story begins with Dolores absolutely humiliating herself by not only losing control of her bladder and peeing all over herself in the classroom floor, but when she tries to run away, she slips, falls, and concusses herself. To make matters worse, it happens during a standardized test, so the whole room is silent and everyone witnesses it. What a way to end middle school! Of course, at her age, no one really understands what she's going through, and her physical condition is not only embarrassing, but it is so incredibly personal that it's hard to talk about. But that also makes it difficult for her to make friends. And summer vacation has begun, and her family is constantly going through financial struggles, so she doesn't have the money to hang out with friends anyway. Learning the hard way that her best friend is too embarrassed by her physical condition, Dolores has to branch out and make new friends. Enter Terpsichore Birkenbosch Jones. Terpsichore is also seeking new friends urgently because she wants her mother to be convinced that she can take care of herself. For Terpsichore, friendship equals independence. And this is where it's important to note that this decision is due to Terpsichore's autism. Her mother overly invests herself in Terpsichore's life. She insists on homeschooling while Terpsichore craves independence and public education. She wants to learn how to go to school because she wants to eventually go to art school and design costumes for movies and the stage, and she believes this will never happen unless she can prove her independence and get out of her house, which means she needs to make a successful best friend. Both Dolores and Terpsichore work together as friends, and Dolores spends time with her to show her mother that she can make friends, while Terpsichore observes Dolores and works to identify social cues and how to be independent. It works out that both girls learn what real friendship is from each other and how strong they both are together and separately. As a reader, it was easy to focus on Terpsichore's image and her challenges. She was highlighted as awkward and as an absolutely concrete thinker. But it isn't until later in the book that Dolores is able to identify some of her problems at home and how her family's interpersonal relationships affect how Dolores sees herself, i.e., her parents' understanding of her physical condition. It's crushing to realize that they have not invested in the research or response that Dolores really should be receiving from loved ones. What makes this book so appealing are Dolores's recollection of events and how she entertainingly exaggerates details, such as her friends walk into the ice cream shop dressed as Josie and the Pussycats. But it gives the reader this descriptive insight as to how she sees herself and how she believes others see her. This book represents so many different communities and so many ways that people belong that it definitely would make for a great addition to a collection. Hispanic students, autistic students, the gay community, exchange students, people with financial despair, broken homes, and those who need strong female representation benefit from this read. An Appetite for Miracles by Lakin Zaya Kemp is not just a book, it's an experience. It's important to note that this book is written in verse, but that matters because it brings out the emotions and the feelings of the characters in such a dramatic way. Dana's impression and passion for food and memories becomes so vivid that as a reader, you can almost smell the kitchen, you can almost taste the pastries, and you can feel the layers of dough. And then Raoul's love of music becomes such a feeling that immerses you as a reader. Allow me to set the stage. Dana lives at home with her parents and grandfather, who is suffering from dementia. As his memories disappear, Dana believes that she can bring them back through recipes and dishes. She researches dementia, food, the senses, and her grandfather's life history to bring back all these tastes and memories. While her father understands, her mother is one for appetite control, and her mother does not react the same way to food, and her attitude about it makes Donna question her personal appearance. And she so wants to make her mother proud. Because she has curves, she equates those with ugliness in her mother's eyes. For Donna, food is love, and she is passionate about taste, texture, and smell. One treatment for her grandfather is through music therapy, and that's how she meets Raul. Raul is Donna's age, but attends a different school, and his mother is in prison for a crime she was pressured to commit. Raul struggles to find his place in the world, and his only escape to happiness is his music until he meets Donna. Instead of constantly feeling inferior to his mother's demands, he feels accepted and desired. And when his mother returns to his life, it becomes clear that her expectations for his success don't align with his dreams and aspirations. He struggles with the idea that he's a failure. Donna cares about what he's going through and about making memories of their own through food. This book, it takes the reader on an emotional roller coaster. When Donna takes a chance and reaches out to Raul, it's really easy to get excited and nervous with her, hoping that he likes her back. And when Raul shares Donna's picture with his friends, it's this great opportunity to rejoice as his friends confirm that she's attractive, because the reader really does understand that Donna is so self-conscious about herself physically. If you really want to get the most out of this experience, I highly recommend combining listening to the audiobook version for some chapters and reading some chapters of the text as well, because the readers in the audiobook do such a great job of the drama and the emotion and the pronunciation. I mean, there are some pretty culturally sound Hispanic foods within this book, but at the same time, reading the verse and feeling the emotions makes a big deal too. This book does such a great job of making connections for the readers who feel insecure about their bodies, family situations, for readers who struggle with their relationships with food and family and illness. And it's really a great opportunity to process some internal grief if, as a reader, you're going through that. So three main characters, all names that begin with B, but they're all so very different, and yet they all have that same struggle of trying to figure out how their family sees them and who they should grow up to become. Each girl struggles to find her place in her family and with how she sees herself. And at a time in your life, if you're a teen or a young adult, when you're also figuring out who you are, these are three books that can help you with the reflection, imagination, and the process that it takes to make your own determination of who you are. Happy reading.